Hello and welcome everyone, I'm Justin Thomas. If you're finding me for the first time, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell to get updates whenever I upload. I cover series such as Game of Thrones, Westworld, The Walking Dead, Vikings, and much more. This particular video will be my recap and review of Victoria Season 2, Episode 7. In these weekly segments for ITV's Victoria, I do a brief recap for the latest episode and provide my own personal thoughts along with a rating that's on a scale from 1 to 10. So let's jump right into the episode. The title of this episode is The King Over the Water, and it is the latest installment of ITV's Victoria, Season 2, Episode 7. The episode definitely has some familiar themes, such as heavy lies the crown, per se, and the nature of true happiness, that are certainly not new or groundbreaking by any means, but nonetheless, this was an entertaining and well-scripted, for the most part, episode. So as I said, they're working off a premise that could be considered old and cliche, but the reason I think the idea of royalty needing to escape the confines of not only the title, but the court that comes along with it and all the responsibility is so frequently showcased in many other programs that revolve around royalty simply because it's true, and I applaud Daisy Goodwin for walking what could be considered a minefield of redundancy in pulling this episode off. I really feel that there's no way you cannot explore the idea that Victoria felt suffocated by those around her, not only as queen, but especially throughout her whole life, since Victoria was famously raised in a manner that would drive anyone insane and provided very little privacy or freedom, maybe even more so than a lot of monarchs, definitely modern monarchs. So the idea that Victoria had a need to escape from all the routine and formalities of court life is not a stretch by any means, especially after going through yet another assassination attempt in which we are shown at the start of this episode. And although I don't believe there's any proof that Victoria and Albert ran off to a home owned by Scottish commoners, the attempt on her life was very real, and this attempt was just one of 8 made on Victoria throughout her lifetime. I'll be linking an article and information below that goes over the 8 attempts on Victoria's life. This attempt, unlike the events that we see occur in Scotland, is depicted in a way that stays true to historical accounts. And I would like to mention that the Queen does seem to have faced all these attempts with just as much bravery, or one could even argue stubbornness. In a little fun side note, Albert did indeed craft her the James Bond-esque bulletproof umbrella, and around this time, Victoria and her court did visit Scotland. This could be in part because of the threat of Victoria's safety at the time, but also to serve as a vacation of sorts and experience the quote-unquote wilderness that Albert famously loved both in the show and real life. I think they did a good job with showcasing the beauty of Scotland while hinting at its dangers. A great bit of dialogue between Sir Alfred and Drummond established this quite well, with the mention of the cliff being so high that one could fall and not be found for weeks. I'm paraphrasing, of course, but this did make me slightly worried about Drummond's mental state, and it almost did seem like, at least to me, that he was almost considering a similar fate rather than to continue to live the life he's living that is unfortunately filled with strong feelings that sadly have to be buried deep inside to ensure his professional and social status in these times. But we're given a little bit of light out of this darkness just a few scenes later when we finally see the two give each other more than just a awkward glance, and I applaud the progression of the storyline. We are also treated to progression in another storyline when we see some developments between Prince Ernest and the Duchess of Sutherland. I'm a big fan of David Oakes and really enjoyed his character's range in this episode, especially the little bit of teasing of Drummond and Lord Alfred's very prim in proper English ways. I overall give this episode a 7 and look forward to next week's final episode before the Christmas special. Make sure to check out my #Victoria designs that I have just released that you can purchase using the links provided below, along with a few other designs that I've recently put on limited runs. All links will be provided below, and any profits go directly into the channel and will help me create better content for you guys. And I'm also taking suggestions for what show you guys want to be covered next after the season of Victoria concludes, so leave your picks in the comment section below. As always, I'm Justin Thomas, and I'll see you guys soon.